Hi, today we're going to talk about our project, which is a carbon neutral platform. I'm Jose Cordero,
I'm Paul Romero.
and our advisor is Dr. Reza Paragabagar. So, a little bit of the agenda for today. We're going to start talking about the background of our project, then move into the problem statement and the specific purpose of the project, then discuss the design steps we took, and then discuss the results with a website demonstration and go into the economic analysis, and then at the end we're going to discuss the future plans for the project. So a little bit of the background of our project. We started thinking about global warming, which is the observed increase in average temperatures of the Earth's atmosphere and oceans, and how it has become a worldwide concern. Finding a solution to global warming has proven to be a very challenging task. Governments have tried implementing solutions but have failed to do so effectively. As a result, corporations have been forced to absorb or transfer the cost of unsuccessful environmental regulations, and meanwhile the individual consumers remain frustrated, wishing they could find ways to help the environment. After discussing the problem of global warming, we started thinking more about carbon emissions and carbon neutrality, and how scientists have found a direct relationship between the carbon emissions and global warming. Carbon emissions are the primary greenhouse gas emitted into the atmosphere by human activities. After researching a little bit about carbon emissions and specifically the carbon neutrality, we decided to focus our project on that topic.
Our problem statement. Carbon concentrations in the atmosphere are responsible for problems with human and environmental health, the destruction of our ecosystem, and our current biggest threat of climate change. Many people are aware of the problems we face regarding the carbon levels in the atmosphere, but consumers and industry are often not on the same page. Consumers who are aware and want to reduce their carbon footprint struggle to find ways and options to do so. The purpose of this project is to develop a website that will connect consumers interested in carbon neutral products and companies that offer carbon neutral products or are interested in the subject. The website will serve as an information platform for consumers and industry on carbon offset projects, carbon credits, and the overall idea of a carbon neutral product or service. This project will also involve surveys and statistical analysis on consumers to find out if they are willing to pay more money for carbon neutral products or services, and inform industry about potential profitability of having carbon neutral products. Now we're going to talk about the design step. We follow the DMAIC process in our project. And the first step is define. To create the website that will meet the desired requirements of connecting consumers to industry, as well as serve as an information platform. The platform will include the 3 Ps, which are people, planet, and profit. With the people, there will be 2 main objectives, which will be increase awareness on the carbon neutral topic through information, and also connect consumers and industry interested on carbon neutral projects, products, services, and sustainability. For profit, the website will generate revenue through advertisements and also through a fee that can be charged to include a company's products and services in the website. The planet part, the goal is to help reduce the carbon footprint in the atmosphere by encouraging consumers and industry to invest in the topic of carbon neutrality and realizing the small changes in their lifestyle or operating procedure can lead to enormous changes in the carbon footprint. The next step is measure. After defining clear goals for the information platform, the team proceeded to research on different alternatives on which software could be best to build the website. The first option was Amazon's Web Services, or AWS. AWS is a cloud-based services that enables members to build the web applications using cloud computing. The team investigated about Amazon and AWS, but the cost-to-benefit ratio was not in line with the goals for the project and the website. The team then proceeded to research for more alternatives, including Microsoft Visual Studio, Squarespace, Wix, and WordPress. After carefully analyzing each alternative, WordPress was the final choice. WordPress allows website developers to pay for services depending on the views and clicks received, which is ideal for the goals and objectives the team set for the duration of the project. It also has great reputation and reliability, providing a platform for companies like BBC America, Best Buy, and Forbes. After deciding that WordPress was the appropriate platform to build a website, the next step was to develop an outline to organize the content, taking into consideration the goals for the website and also the needs for its future users. The next step was analyze. The analyze stage was the most time-consuming and challenging part of the project, but it was also the most satisfying. This is the stage of the project where the team built the actual information platform. The first step was to find the online tutorials in order to build the best possible website. This was a long process of getting to know the word process, how word process works, and learning about available features and alternatives that could be used to develop and lay out the website. The team constructed a pilot test website in order to practice and try different layout alternatives to see which one would be the best meet the requirements and goals set on the defined stage of the DMAIC process. After the pilot test was complete, it was time to fill the website with content. The next step would be improve. After the team built all the sections, created the connections for navigating through the information platform, and adding content to each section, the team met with the academic advisor to make revisions and improve the website. This step provided guidance. The changes were most likely directed towards the layout and navigation throughout the website to make the design more ergonomic and ultimately improve the user experience. The final step was control. The team will have periodical website revisions in regard to content, making sure the information tab is updated, and track the traffic and find ways to increase traffic on the website. Okay, the next step we'll talk about is results. Here we'll have a website demonstration. Once we click on the link, we went to our website, which is carbonneutralplatform.com. This would be the home page. In this page, we're going to have latest news, which will be updated continuously. And as you can see right here, we have one article, and then here's another article. And these will be updated weekly, and once we find information that is worthy of being in the home page. And by clicking on this tab, it will direct you to our information news, where there's more information that we've put in. Going through our website, we also have our mission, and by clicking our mission, it directs you to who we are. Talk about just Jose and I, Paul, and then our mission of the project, and the vision that we have for this project. Going back to the home page, we have a subscribe list to our mailing list. By this we mean is that once you put your email, you would get a monthly email of news that we've found worthy of being carbon neutral, and send it to our subscribers. And this would be updated again monthly. And then we have information of what is carbon neutral, what is a carbon credit, and business benefits. And if you click on business benefits and take to industry, and this would be
So this is our industry page where we have case studies that contain examples of carbon neutral projects that have been done in the past. So if you click on case studies, it will redirect you to a page where we have a lot of case studies that have been done in the past with companies like Microsoft. And if you click on, and here we have projects that can help a company reduce its carbon footprint. So if you click start a project, it will direct you to a link where you can just, start a project with another company to reduce your carbon footprint. We also have the Dow Jones Sustainability Index, which is the 2,500 companies in the Dow Jones rated in terms of sustainability. And we also have a calculator where you can calculate your business carbon emission output. We also have this tab for the carbon neutral alternatives, which basically gives information on what are carbon neutral or carbon zero alternatives. And then you can check out carbon neutral products. So these are products that are actually out there in the market that are carbon neutral. This is directed page for customers as well as for industry, so they can see which products are out there. You can learn more about this product, and we also have on the bottom a page where if you're a member of industry and you have a carbon neutral product, you can add your product to the site, about product name, product description, email, and you can submit. And you can also add the product at the beginning of the website. And we also have carbon neutral services, which, for example, UPS, you can do. They have a carbon neutral shipping option where you can pay to neutralize the carbon emissions of your shipment, and so on, such as Avis, Rental Cars, Sky, and we have a bunch of services. And same as product, you can also add your service to the website. Then we can move into the consumers tab, where we have environmental projects that have performed have been performed around the world by either Neutral Capital Partners or by COTAP, and these companies have performed these projects around the world. So that's to raise awareness on the projects, and also again, if consumers are interested in looking at products or services in the market today that are carbon neutral, they can click on products or services, and they would be redirected to these tabs. Here we have some steps to reduce your carbon footprint, so you can click on view steps and it'll redirect you. We also have a calculator to calculate your carbon footprint, but for individuals. And we have a global 100 most sustainable companies, so we redirect them to the ranking of the highest rated companies in terms of sustainability around the world. We also have a tab for information and news, where we have news articles that will be appearing on recent news if they're worthy, or they can just keep reading articles related to carbon neutrality and sustainability. And we also have a tab for videos. For example, we have right now with the outcomes for business by Neutral Capital Partners after the Paris climate change conference in 2015. So what can be done in a business, what changes have been made in terms of what can affect business, and how can they move on forward to reduce their carbon footprint and be in line with what was decided in the Paris 2015 climate conference. And lastly, we also have a contact page where the interested individuals can contact us. Now we're going to talk about the economic analysis. So this is a cash flow we created for the economic analysis. First, we have some stable costs, which are the labor costs, which we established at $20 per hour. The cost to set up the domain, which was $18, and the domain maintenance, which was $12. We also have another WordPress monthly cost, which is $12 for maintenance. And we also have assumed that we're going to get $1 per click on advertisement, and we're going to charge on the first part of the project $10 for adding the product and service to the site, and $25 on the second part. So we decided to do the economic analysis in 3 scenarios, which are pessimistic first, most likely second, and we also have optimistic scenario. So we created researching information on similar websites and how their progress has been made through the months, and also WordPress sites that have recently started and track their progress. So on the month 0, we are going to invest 200 more hours for the project, and so on. These are the predicted hours spent each month. These are the predicted monthly clicks that we're going to get from advertisement and products added. And then we estimated the cost and the revenue, and the pessimistic scenario came out to be a total of $21 after the 12 months of the project, so it's still a viable option, even in the pessimistic scenario. For the most likely scenario, same thing happened, but we also added a cost of marketing and website exposure that we are going to spend $100 on these months on getting website exposure, either to search engines or through advertisement. And that was also included into the calculation of the cash flow analysis. And for the end of 12 months, this cash flow has a net present value of $691 for the most likely scenario. And for the optimistic scenario, same procedure as above, and the cash flow has a value of $1,508. We decided that this project was going to be a non-profit website, so any profit that would come out of the website other than would be donated to funding student projects related to sustainability, and also funding any type of project that would basically help the environment. Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about future plans. The next step would be to approach companies to add more products or services, update content with latest news, continuous improvement on website, increase website exposure through different channels, advertisements, and search engines. And that concludes our senior project. Any questions?